Hello everybody. This is my video 4 in astrophysics. Then, as you can see, my native language is French. Therefore, I will try to speak the best English I can. So, and something else, I have to follow a text so that I don't forget important details. And for those who find my video without going to my website, let me introduce myself. My name as a self-taught and multidisciplinary scientist is Gilles Lauzon-Ortubise, and I am the owner of the firsthumanmultiintelligence.com site. The title of this video is Primordial nucleosynthesis, and for me it's never happening. The primordial never happening, and for a multitude of physical and logical reason and evidence. For example, if we assume that primordial nucleosynthesis has occurred, it is after a certain period of time following the Big Bang, which is the Big Bang. I don't believe it at all too. But anyway, for example, if we accept they existed, however, according to well-known sources and that of the French speaking Wikipedia and many other sources, the age of the universe is approximately 13.8 billion years old. And according to the same French Wikipedia source, there is a list of 119 supermassive black holes that have been discovered so far. So, by this list, this has the effect of proving that there are surely many more supermassive black holes that remains to be discovered, because currently we have no ideas how big the universe really is. Of this list of 119 supermassive black holes, the smallest of them has a mass of 1,003,000 times of the mass of our sun, and the largest of them has a mass of 66 billion times the mass of our sun. So from a concept that established the age of the universe at 13 billion years old, how can we explain the existence of stars which have a mass? Yes, because if nucleosynthesis primordial really happened after the Big Bang, we should find a lots of stars about the same size. So not many stars with so different mass, like for one mass for our sun and 60 billion times for the biggest one. So this doesn't make sense. So this is a kind of proof then nucleosynthesis never exists then. And so how we can explain the existence of stars which have a mass which varies from a solar like our sun to a mass of 1,003,000 times or 60 billion times of the mass of our sun. So that is no proof that, first of all, the ones of 66 billion mass of our sun this is not a proof that is the most massive, because on one end we do not know the size of the universe, and there are surely other supermassive black holes that are even more massive than the biggest one we know. So this is amount of evidence that equals the number of the star that have mass differences that are considerable and that vary between a mass of sun until 66 billion times of our sun. And as a consequence of proving a multitude of times that primordial nucleosynthesis never happened for this amount of multitude proof, and for physical and logical reason. And because if a primordial nucleosynthesis would have really existed, this will have had the consequences of preventing such a large difference in terms of mass between the stars of the universe in a period of time that is as short on the scale of the universe as 13.8 billion years. So because of, of all of those evidence that reject the non-existence of primordial nucleosynthesis, the concept of the Big Bang, and an age as ridiculously short as 13.8 billion years for the universe. In addition, the fact that there is such a large difference in terms of mass between the stars in the universe, this has the effect of proving that the universe has always existed and that is much older than 13.8 billion years. On the other hand, I know the origin of all types of stars, from how they are born, from how they are formed, and until they die. All stars are formed in a way that is completely different from nucleosynthesis. Yes, because the theory of nucleosynthesis, primordial or nucleosynthesis, doesn't exist. Because my theory is different than those one, and I know the way of the stars born and formed, and it's completely different than the nucleosynthesis of the nebula hypothesis. So that is a further evidence of a complete misunderstanding of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale on the part of all other astrophysicists before me. Why? Because this is an immense difficulty and complexity to overcome before all the other astrophysicists before me can begin to decode little by little how all the objects in the universe work, for after to be able to start forming different theories until they become satisfactory and agree with each other. And then after to be able to start producing a sufficient quantity of theories that can all be complementary until they manage to explain how the universe works from A to Z, or almost, until proven otherwise. So as to achieve the same level of explanation as all of my theories, of my imposing mother theory of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale. Well, for my side, for me it is very easy to understand why no one before me had any chance to achieve such an intellectual feat, because it is of an immeasurable level of difficulty, and you will have the proof of it when you can read my imposing mother theory of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale on my website and in a scientific journal. But after I filing my paper patent for my extraordinary spaceship, but not before, because I have to protect my patent. So, and it's normal, anyone's doing the same. So, for example, in the case of the great Albert Einstein, everybody knows that he worked very hard all of his life. But because of his magical thought with a diagnosis, he was always light years away from any beginning of understand how the universe works on a macroscopic scale. And because he disputed his intellectual power, he has always been confused or deceived by his mathematical magical thoughts. So otherwise, if he had lived to be 100 years old with his same mathematical magical thoughts, he would never had a chance to get close to any beginnings of understandings of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale. On my side, as far as I am concerned, there is no way that my extremely physical, logical mind could be battered or fooled by any branches of complex mathematics, because any complex branch mathematical have nothing to do with the way of the universe works. They have no one of them they can explain. They can be by magical thoughts to be applied to any kind of theory that could explain anything in the universe, any parts, anything, and of course absolutely not the way of the universe works. So, and among of my 50 and 100 or more theories of my imposing mother theory of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale, there is none that has any connection to mathematics. Besides, I am not here to discredit the works of the great Einstein, but it is my duty to discredit all of his work which is at odds with some of my theory of my imposing mother theory of how the universe works. So yes, that's what I have to do. I have to discredit all his work which is not good to explain the way of the universe works. I have no choice. This is what I have to do, and that's it. So, and everybody doing the same. This is the normal reaction to any scientist, to discredit anything which is thin and it doesn't make sense, or it's too magical thoughts, accommodating magical thoughts, or anything, then it doesn't make sense at all. So that's why I had to do it. In addition, through my self-taught studies in astrophysics of 5 years and 8 months only, which I successfully decoded the functioning of the universe on a macroscopic scale, there is no mystery that I have failed to decode or solve. And if there are any mystery to be discovered that I have yet to meet, I sincerely doubt that any mystery of the universe can withstand my very high intellectual power in investigation, reflection, analysis, and inventiveness of all kinds that I can do, amongst other things too, other intellectual things too, which is too long to list. And because so far I have always managed to decode or solve all the mystery that I have encountered, or at least provide at least a satisfactory explanation or more. And all of my theories that go into my imposing mother theory of how the universe works on a macroscopic scale, none of them can be called a theory of one or more accommodating magical thoughts, because all of my theory are based on one or more relationship of physical cause to physical effect and nothing else. And furthermore, I am the first to succeed to decode and producing somewhere between 50 to 100 or more new theories in astrophysics to form my imposing mother theory of how the universe works. On the other hand, if it happens in the near future that I come to realize that one of my theory is no longer acceptable, I will change it right away. But it is impossible that any of my theories could be completely wrong, because it's just impossible, because they are all in agreement with the others, so doesn't make sense that one of them it could be completely wrong then. So, and in the worst possible case, I will just have to make a slight modification to it. Not big one, but just a small one. Well, that's all for this video. So thank you for viewing my video, and welcome to my next video, which will reveal my opinion on another subjects in the universe. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.